have seen how readily you are in terms of preparation and all the rest. I look forward to a glorious day. On that note, my fellow Rotarians and our leaders here present, I hereby call today's webinar to order. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have done the grace. If otherwise, we just request the moderator to take the Rotary grace while we all keep silent and say amen after. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, District Governor, Rotarian Prince Henry. We've taken the Rotary grace, but we would like to take it in your presence again to just set the tone again officially and say the amen like you have requested. So at the count of 3, O Lord and giver of all good, we thank thee for our daily food. May Rotary friends and Rotary ways help us to serve thee all our days. And we have a resounding amen. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Your leadership continues to inspire us to reach further in our communities and have a sound and safe trip to deliver your official duties. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you very much. We've heard from our district governor, and like we know, he is an epitome of inspiration to us all. Thanks for what you do, and thanks for supporting the women in Rotary. Now, to officially open our hearts and mind for the wonderful topic that we have today, I would like to invite the chairwoman, Women in Rotary District 111, no other than P.P. Lara Akisoya. She's to welcome us in our address. Chairman, please, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Rotary Mitokwe. I want to say a very good morning to everyone. I thank you all for your time. I'm still looking out for other women and other Rotarians to join this wonderful topic to be delivered by our one and only Kosheleri, Rotarian Ayaba Omotunde Lawson, who happens to be a seasoned educationist, a very wonderful woman. And on that note, I welcome everybody. I want us to listen very well, because when some Rotarian Ayaba speaks, there's so much for you to gain. She speaks with experience, and her lectures are always very, very impactful. So please, let's listen. And at the end of it all, we will want to ask her some questions. So please keep your questions until she finishes. I quite appreciate you all. I thank you for your time. Let's keep the Zoom, the webinar rolling. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And once again, like the district governor has said, thanks for what you do in Rotary. You have set a level standard, and we appreciate you for the wonderful program you brought to us again. Now, sometimes a child's behavior or poor grades is usually a save us so kind of signal, and that is more like a sign of maladjustment, and it's more of the disconnect probably in their world and their society and their school and their home. And more importantly, we have to decode these signals. And we're joined here by a titan in education and legislative field in our district. And I will just try to read out our profile. Like I said about the profile of our district governor, this is a woman that has served in different capacity and laid the foundation for a lot of us. So I'll try as much as possible to see how we will just read out her profile in less than 2 minutes, because she's a woman that served 4 years. And we have in our midst a veteran Rotarian, Omotunde Olayinka Lawson, who is a distinguished professional educator and trailblazing leader with nearly 50 years of expertise in teaching and learning. Known fondly, like she have been told before, Kosheleri, is because of her history-making achievements in Rotary and beyond. And she has continuously shattered glass ceilings in both the public service and international humanitarian sectors. In terms of professional growth and educational foundation, She earned a bachelor's degree in teacher education, zoology, and botany from the University of Ibadan, and master's again in educational foundations from the University of Lagos. She has dedicated 35 years at the Lagos State Teaching Service, rising to the peak of a career as a Director of Education in 2028. Currently, she serves as the proprietor and the CEO of the Chris Hill School, Lagos. Also, in terms of leadership milestone, in the public service leadership, she served as the president of the All Nigerian Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, Lagos State Chapter, and chair the combined ANCOPS for the Southern West states. I believe the digital emoji and appreciation would already be going by now. Also in Rotary International, she has been a trailblazer, and she became the first female, I'll take that again, the first female district governor of RI District 9110 in its 41st year history, serving during the 2022 and 2023 year. In terms of strategic governance, she has also been appointed to the Governing Council of the Adeniran Ogusoya College of Education. I believe the digital emoji is already coming in. She also has a lot of current global roles, and she's serving as the acting Rotary coordinator for the African Zone 22. And she's also the Pioneer District Learning Facilitator for the District 911. Now, in terms of key achievements, because you're wondering, wow, who is this our guest speaker for today? In terms of key achievements, she has received the highest public service award from Lagos State in 2027. And only in Nigeria, only two Nigerian is presented with the Global Peace and Humanitarian Service Award by the United Nations International Work Science for Peace and Development in 2022. She's also a major donor for level 2 of having contributed over $28,000 to the Rotary Foundation. Now, under her leadership as the governor, District 911, she ranked first among 18 districts. Imagine that, in Africa for membership and Rotary Foundation giving. She's conferred with the chieftaincy title of Kosheleri. Wow, she is married to Rotarian Francis Akigade Losin, and they are blessed with 3 children and several grandchildren. Could I please ask you to please give a digital appreciation and clap as we welcome our guest speaker for today. Wow, wow, wow. I'm sure you have the profile, and she is the best person to delve into the topic of today, a child's educational maladjustment. Over to you, our guest speaker, and the floor is yours. Please shatter the ceiling one more time.
Thank you very much, Moderator Timitope. Let me quickly acknowledge and appreciate the presence of our district governor, who in his own capacity is also the spouse of a school proprietress. So he knows about education, even if he's not an educator. So thank you for joining us this afternoon, my impactful Prince of Impact District Governor, Henry Akinyele. Thank you for your service. Thank you for where you have led us to and where you are leading us to. And permit me to also thank this woman of energy, woman of vision, woman of enviable personality, the president of the Women in Rotary, the pioneer president of Women in Rotary for District 9111, Rotarian Lara Kisonya. I want to really, really acknowledge your doggedness and your leadership style. You have what it takes to lead women, and that is why work goes on without even you be selling in Nigeria. Everything is just going on smoothly. That you led like that last year. You led your team, a servant leader, someone who recognizes the performance and other contribution of other members of the team. And that is why you have been successful so far. And I'm sure that we haven't done anything yet because the Rotary has just started as far as women Rotary is concerned. A lot and a lot to still have in stock for everyone. So good afternoon, my distinguished fellow Rotarians too on board. Nice to have you here this afternoon. I was just thinking, I said, probably, we will have had this particular webinar probably in the evening, so that we could have as many women who are now looking for what to eat. I mean, many of them are about to work, many are their business places. We can't blame them, or they have to sustain their families because we want as many women as possible. So listen to this very important topic. It's so germane, it's a topic that holds the family. And because at times when we refer to somebody as a parent is not only the mother, parent is also the father. And either of them can be responsible to make or mar a child. Now let me I want to share my slide. The topic we are presenting today. Oh, yes. Let me go to the first slide. The topic before us is child's educational maladjustment, parental influence and responsibility. I'm going to highlight some key words. There are some very important words that we have to look at before we even go on. What is maladjustment? Is the ability to react successfully to environmental demands. It is a psychological state often characterized by emotional instability, social dysfunction, behavioral issues. Somebody cannot just adjust, it's just a misfit into a system. And there are factors that contribute to this maladjustment: family problems, parental, and also school-related stress. Of course, family problems we can mention quite a lot. Before I go, let me say something. Yes, family problems are there. They still exist. They continue to be because we are all human. But how do we turn these family problems to positive state for a child to develop well? Parental. What does parental mean? It refers to actions or roles of parents, such as parental guidance, parental consent, or parental responsibility. I mean, before you can become a parent, you have to decide that you want to be responsible. But I agreed, many children are born because the parents are not even ready to have the children. And so they didn't know the responsibility that is on them before the children were born. Expert knowledge and perceived local realities that all what we all have seen in reality have shown that the period for the greatest impact of parenting on a child development occurs at adolescence. Every woman, every adult woman knows that is the most turbulent period of a child's life. And that period is the time when they're usually in the secondary school, when peer influence is so enormous. And this period starts from the age of 12 probably to 17. About 18, they have gone to another level that we refer to as being adults. At that time, we now say they are adults and we believe that, yes, they can now do whatever they like. So that's what we all believe. They can now do whatever they like as adults, being out at the age of 18. Now, influence. Influence is the capacity to indirectly affect the character, development, or behavior of someone or something. Indirectly. That's an influence on somebody. That's why, I mean, it will affect the character, the development of behavior. That is, that person probably will not have behaved in a way, or the character wouldn't have been like that if you had not looked at somebody or see somebody as a model, it can actually be a negative model. Responsibility, the state of being accountable, dependable, or obligated to manage duties and accept the consequences of actions. So when we are saying that parents are responsible up to an age, like I said, we up to the age of 18, okay, agreed. How many parents are actually responsible to who their children are? How many parents can even the children depend on to see as someone they could look up to say, oh, this one will give me direction. Oh, this one can actually manage me as a father. So I can manage me as a mother. That a parent is accountable for the child of the age or standard age of 18 years. Parental responsibility is not just an obligation, but it's legal, it's societal, and moral requirements to guide children towards becoming healthy, functional adult. Healthy, functional adult. So when a child is maladjusted, it simply means that that child cannot become a healthy and a functional adult. And that's why we have so many adults that will wonder the kind of youth or useful period that they pass through. And it might not be their fault. Honestly, could be a combination of factors, starting from home. Now, what are the kind of behaviors that a maladjusted child will show? Number one, antisocial behaviors like aggression or bullying. I don't know how many of us saw the video of that child in Igbinedion Secondary School, Benin City. This is one of the so-called high-class schools. And if you saw what happened, you will marvel at from which home did this child come out from. Look at the face of the child. So innocent, a young boy by all standards. So what has come upon this child to display such an attitude, such aggression? And the only thing he could do is to bully. I mean, he lost his spirit of empathy. He had no feelings, no feelings. So to have treated that child so badly. Then feeling of inferiority complex. That is when a child is put in a position where the child feels inferior. And this is something that is impressed upon a child basically by the parents. Because you try to compare your own child with another child. And if the child is not measuring up, forgetting that each child has his own lane to drive. Each child has his own different makeup. And then you not believe that this person must be exactly like the other one. The next thing that you start complaining, look at James. Look at he's coming first in class. Look at this. Forget other factors that will be militating against that child. Doing absolutely very well. Of course, the child will feel inferior. If the child will withdraw, then the child feels is inadequate, is incompetent. No one the child can do what is good. You know, luckily, I mean, everything I'm telling you today is because I have I've seen everything on my table because of what I do. So there is nothing you want to say that I have not seen over the last 40 years. And therefore, I can talk with confidence that this and this and this are the things that happen. So when incompetence sets in and the child starts feeling inadequate, of course, the child will see himself, I mean, he will lose self-esteem. And to build it back, rather becomes, at times becomes so difficult. And then intense anxieties or fears of what will happen. In fact, the parent is talking to the child, the answer is a tough thing. There's anxiety. Teacher is asking questions, you know, because he doesn't know what the teacher will say. He doesn't know what the parent would. I see that a very terrible case for a 8-year-old child in my office this morning. If I'm saying that I want to control myself, like, oh, a child like this, in year 3. Huh? Etia who said, I'm tired of this life. And I'm fed up. And the things he displays in class, and some young boy of 8 years old, of course, a child of a broken marriage, fine. It doesn't mean that all children that are raised from broken families do bad. No, do badly. No, it doesn't mean so. Don't let us miss that fight to say that once a child is from a family where the father and the mother are no longer together, the child cannot never do well. No, let us forget that. It depends on how you as a parent manage yours. Take that or leave it. So, that act of deviance, usually directly against established rules of the school. For example, they list without permission. They will wear one school uniform. My battle with one again this afternoon. That I lost my cool. So say, why are you daring me? After all my announcement, he came to school with braided hair as long as I used something to wrap it around. When I got to school, it almost made me to lose my cool. You understand? So that is what we're talking about. Smoking, drug taking, drinking, failure to serve punishments or carry out lawful duties. They are just defiants. They're not ready to agree with what is happening. They are another world of their own. Now, I look at these pictures. Who is responsible? Is it the teacher or the parents? I mean, this particular girl, just because the teacher was trying to correct her, and she decided to leave the class to go and stay in one place, put the head on the table. Look at the tutor in the school, holding a book. She refused, she backed her. She didn't want to listen. What would the woman be saying, whether it's the counselor, will be falling into deaf ears. That's a reason for that attitude. Look at the other upper picture on the right. A child having phones and using phone under the table. How many have we seen in our own system here? Is a one everyday correction. They will still smuggle it somehow. And then they give to the younger ones in the primary section, because they know they will check them in the college. They will not go and come back and collect it from them. And while in class, teacher is teaching, she is on phone. Guess what? That's the reason. Reacting to something. What is going on in class does not concern her. As far as he's concerned, teacher, you are on your own. Now, the other one too, or the one below, the first, on the left below. Others are writing, teacher is in class, but this one just put the head on the table. What might be responsible? Either this child is going through, is in a class that she's not supposed to be. Because this program they will drive you to do what you're not supposed to do. Oh, I just want this child to be in this class. Oh, let this child repeat. No, child cannot repeat. Please give me a second child. And the child knows that he's not coping. What would the child do in class? What the child is saying, she cannot just comprehend. So she put the head on the table. The lower picture, the girl in skirt and blouse, actually went to school to go and shoot. She went with a gun to shoot the teacher. Yes. So, where did he get the gun? Did he have the gun from somebody? Or the father has a gun? Or the father has even called the child one way or the one time or the other to say, oh, please, yes, can you help me cock? We have fathers who teach their children to cock gun for them. For you to know how careless parents could be. Now, educational maladjustment. I'm talking about school-related stress now. I've said a part of it. When the child cannot cope with classwork or assignments or examinations, there is always a reason for this. I believe. If a child is in a class of his or her level, if the teacher has done his or her own part and has delivered what he or she should deliver, there is no reason why a child should not cope with classwork or assignments. guess what? In the class, they cannot cope because why? Like I said earlier, they are not in the right class. Number two, when they get to do assignments, parents will sit them down, do the assignment for them to bring to school. Oh, yes. And then I say here, I'm telling you exactly what is happening and what I see daily. Examination, I mean, they are there. They cannot, and the next thing that they're trying to see how they could copy from another child. Then, a child learning above his level of comprehension is of course going to result in examination malpractice. And where do we have problems again? These are our same parents, you and I. We solicit for assistance of teachers. When I was still teaching, I could tell you that parents have offered me, I was a biology teacher, came with envelope to give me so that I could teach their children during WAEC. I mean, that was when I was, so is a canker. So if teacher, well, some teachers will fall victim and some will not fall victim, depending on the system that you are operating. However, the parents are the ones that will during JAM. Parents will pay for special centers for JAM so that the child could score high marks in JAM. And what has been the outcome of such people? By 200 level, they will no longer be able to go. And they rusticate them. They send them out of the university. And some you will today, please let me, I want to give my teacher something. I want to give my teacher a gift. Which gift I give your teacher when it's not Christmas time? It's not Christmas. Yes, for me, in my own establishment, well, if the parents give you gift and at a festive time, whatever, I will know that yes, they are just appreciating for. But for no reason, this afternoon, I sent 5,000 to a teacher. I sent 3,000 for a teacher. No. Except I do not know. So when such gifts are being given, what is the implication? You are telling them, the teachers, please do all what you can do to ensure that this child, even if he is not fit, it could be found to be, it could be certified fit. Bad influence of parents on a child. I will call parental influence now. Parents who are bad role models. You imagine a parent coming to school dressed almost half naked to a school where you have children. And if I saw at times the dressing even embarrasses their children at times. And they will just when they see their mother in school, they'll be embarrassed. Because other children will make fun of the mother. How do you expect that child to feel? Now, parents who will continuously visit the school primarily to fight one person or the other. Then when they come to office to fight me here, oh yes. Why? Usually they are people, mothers or fathers of those children who are defiant. And they feel that the school fee they have paid is a key for the child to misbehave. Never, not in the school that I am in charge of. So they will come, they want to slap a teacher because the teacher has corrected or and parents will cover up for the misdeeds of their children. A child has done something, once anything happens, the first thing that we take, the student must write a report immediately. Go to whoever is there to be a witness or whatever. So instantly, we have our records and nothing can be changed when the child gets home. We take your report on what has happened. And by the time you invite the parents, you're going to hear something like, no, you cannot be my child. He doesn't do this. He doesn't do that. Meanwhile, the child has written who he or she is and what he has been doing, even at home. Until when you now show the parent that, look, when this was written by your child. And yet, there's no need to cover up because you are to tell us to help us also work on your child. That this child could be good. There's only for a child coming to school. If the school cannot change the life of that child to an extent, I mean, it means that the school itself is not good. Yes, the children could be so bad, but the school is still trying its best to ensure that, to a minimum extent, some attitudes are corrected. Parents who challenge the school rules and disciplinary procedures, they will challenge. They know the rules, but they still want to challenge. Why should the child not? Why should he not? Why should he not? Let's use a brace to school. It's my own rule. This one to say I don't want. And one thing is that you have the option of doing what? To send your child to another place. That's what we will not see. But we always tell them, oh, want me to take my child to another school? We have said that. That choice is yours. But we will only tell you exactly what should happen in the school. That the decision will be yours. We will not tell you, take your child away. No, that will never happen. Then, delayed payment of school fees. That's another problem. And this is another embarrassing factor that causes the child to withdraw. Okay, today they have called those who have not paid school fees. Tomorrow they have called the same child. This one, every time the child's name is being called, how would the child settle down in school? Before the classmates, how are you portraying your own child? Parents who come to school to assault, I've said that, they come to assault to find the teacher. Then parents who exposes the child to sexual harassment through improper dressing. You know, when in senior school, when students wear skirts, they wear skirts, and you will see skirts that are not like just an inch longer than knicker being worn to school. Like in my own school, there are stairs. And when the child is climbing up the stairs, somebody who is below can actually be looking up to see what the child is wearing right from down. And that I cannot stand. I will now tell people that, look, what this child is wearing. You are telling the child that as you are moving up and down, everybody is looking at what is under. It doesn't look good. You have offended them. So some of these are just a few. Let me continue. Now, counterproductive actions of parents. Tampering with child's development and maturation. Tampering with child development and maturation. You want your child to enter school, to enter primary school at the age of 4. Education says no child skips a stage. No child skips a stage. Textbooks have been done according to what they believe aligns with the age of a child and the level, the class a child should be at a particular age. And one that I also share, I always share my own personal experience with parents when they come. Look, my children could have gone to school primary 4. They didn't come on entrance, they did very well. I didn't want to allow them to know their scores. Or they know their scores, come here. No. I knew their scores, but I didn't let them know. They read primary 5. They scored like those who were high class. I did not tell them, because I believe that my child should read primary 6 and then be mature enough to cope with all the intelligent ones. Those that have gone at earlier age. When you get there, of course, naturally, maturity will play a greater part in your own life than those who have just rushed to go there at the age of 10. There's also a whole world of difference. You understand? So, you tamper with their development and maturity. Then, and that is why there was a time in Queen's College that some of our students who, and the parents there, they wrote on their own. They didn't admit that. But you are 11 plus, you cannot get them shot to Queen's College. So they thought I was joking there. They want to go and try the exam. Well, they went, they passed, but they were not admitted. Now, parents were in a hurry to take their children to higher level without counting the cost and effect on the child. Parents have come to us to say, please, the child is doing well because the child has scored 98% overall or average. Therefore, between that, he has overknown everything. So can you please move from primary 1 to primary 3? We said no. What we have learned is that no child skips a stage. If a child has read the book 1 textbook, I want to skip a stage to go to primary 3, to go to read book 3 textbook. Where is the place of book 2 that the child is going to omit? Now, where is the place? You think it is just for fun? No. And some, I'm telling you sincerely, some took their children away because of that. And they will go and lie in another school. Now that child has read primary 2. Are you with me? So the child will be admitted into year 3. And guess what again? Many of such return the children back when the children could not, and they were now worse than when they left us. Now, that's about asking for double promotion. Then changing school, like I said, changing school to skip classes. Write a common entrance in primary 4, just to jump to secondary school. They will leave primary 5, they leave primary 6, they went on the job. Where are they jumping to, please? Where are they going to? In life, I've told my students here, in life, if all of you graduated the same day in SS3, all of you enter university at the same time. My best student here might not be the first to get an admission to the university. I've told them several times. And so, it is not a matter of race. That it must be the way God has done his things is just different. Therefore, everybody, each parent should know that there is no competition anywhere when it comes to your children. Immature students being put in boarding school, that's another issue, another issue, another dangerous issue. To be trained in the school, some are bedwetting, some they will be crying from morning till night. By the time they spend one time or one clinic, the parents have withdrawn them. How do you think that your own child will fit into the boarding school? A child that is not even mature, a child that was put in the boarding school at the age of 10. At what age did you parents to get read primary 1? Even you, I was primary 6 out of age in my own primary 1. So why would I not put my child in primary 1 in at the age of 4? So at the age of 5. Well, will I be saying that I know what I'm doing if I did that? So boarding now is another problem. And at the end of the day, these ones who are not mature, they be forced to do what wrong things just to be able to cope. They be the people that they will just use anyhow, and they'll be bullying here and there, and for them to be able to protect themselves, we'll find them putting themselves into vices. So they can have one school father, they can have one school something that they can hide under to protect them. So who will be at loss at the end of the day? The parents. They're speaking negatively about school or teachers at home. You know, some parents will say, yeah, by the time they start speaking this, then the student will not see anything good in the teacher. You see a teacher as a nobody, a non-entity, because the way the parents have spoken about the teacher as if they never do well people. Now, few factual scenarios. When I say factual, these are real life scenarios I want to share with you. Now, we have set up a parent, yes, we have set up a parent who change school because, okay, repetition, I want to say. Your child has not done well in an examination at the end of the year. And you said, oh, this child is advised to repeat the class. What brand we think about first is school fees. Oh, you know, some don't even believe you. They say, no, we're going to get lesson teacher. We're going to, what you got in the lesson teacher since the child was in school for a whole 1 year. And the child has actually performed woefully beyond expectation. No, that child will not repeat. They will remove, send to another school, thinking the magic will happen there. They could join the school to another school, oh, where there is no standard, oh, it doesn't matter. And they've got their way, but usually many of them, they discover that they have made the wrong decision. Now, status symbol. Parents who opted for elite institutions or elite institutions to boost their reputation rather than focus on child's individual need. That one is another thing entirely. Oh, my child goes to, what are these big schools now? I can't even remember all these big school. Middle or Atlantic, can you call on all those big schools? Christian International School. You have not, that is what, and a parent will just pick their child because when they are discussing, they're always ashamed. A parent, they attend the same church. My chairman, Lara Christoph, you will know that later I will tell you who the person is. It's the person that you know. We attend the same church. We're in the same society in the church. The child was just spent 1 year. She came to me and said, your school fees is too low. It's school I was when I said too low. Why must it be too high for us to we not have is the school not delivering? Say yes, the school is doing very well. Yeah, what has the school fees got to do with the child doing well? It's impressing on us about 2 years. I started wondering, do we now fashion out a differential school fees? So the school fees for those who feel this one is low, and then leave our normal school fees, and we said no, that will not happen. Guess what? She took the child from our school, but she said that she feels I use the word now, that is always embarrassed. She feels disgraced when other people are talking about the school where the children are going and they're mentioning their names, and if she couldn't say it, and I said you couldn't say it. Okay, fine. And she took the child away. I mean, the outcome of it all. Come on, let us leave that one. Let us just leave that one. So these elite schools, that is why you have people who have dollars at home, and the children will take dollars to the school. These are people whose fathers have guns, and children will take guns to the school. These are people whose parents engage in a lot of things that the children pick up and they carry them to the school. Unfortunately, they will now influence other innocent children unknowingly. How many of such have been rusticated from secondary schools? Not even university now, secondary schools. Now, a child who became rebellious when the parent could no longer afford an affluent living. The father, the child, they've been so affluent, everything. Oh, that I need this one, I need Xbox, I need that, I need this, and so on. Everything provided. Everything is there. The child does not even have to think about it. Even when you are telling them, parents, please, there's a limit to all what you can enjoy this parent to do. So then these children of nowadays, it's very good for them. When the standard of the parent drops, the child is in trouble. And therefore, the child becomes rebellious. But the parent could no longer provide the kind of standard that the child is used to. And when rebellion starts, what I'm talking about, the child will definitely do other things. Rather, the child must look for where to steal, to buy what is being used to buy, or what is being used to eating, or to go to cafeteria and start eating whatever they like. On our graduation day last year, a 16-year-old boy drove a car, and I didn't know that I didn't give me that car about 2 or 3 days before the real graduation ceremony. Was calling out to me that this student came 2 days ago with a vehicle, and I told that security, I said, now, if he comes again, that child should never enter the school with any vehicle. Let the child stay outside. This is a 16-year-old boy who is not eligible to drive. Please, let me ask you, parents, what kind of indulgence are we happy over? What are we trying to show? Who are we copying? What are we copying? This is all this rubbish for. If that child had an accident, if that child had hit somebody, it becomes a police case, and underage that is driving. Is that happiness or I don't know, or affluence we're talking about here? So that is that. An overgrown baby. I'm talking about an adult who couldn't take decisions. There was this issue from a very pathetic one of a child that from primary, from nursery, nursery 1 to kindergarten, from primary 1, primary 3, from there, jump secondary school. He skipped about 4 classes to enter secondary school. Now, when in secondary school, the same procedure, they were manipulating and they were, because they said the child was intelligent. They forgot that intelligence and maturity, they work hand in hand. Imagine all intelligent children. Now imagine the one that is mature. The one that is mature and is intelligent will always be throwing the one that's intelligent back and be dictating what he or she will do. That is the value of maturity. This particular man, who is someone that we know very well, by the time he got married early because he started to do things just to cope for having left school early. He married early. After he married early, I'm telling you, this is a true life story. He could not even manage his home. Every simple thing he would go and tell the mother, please, how do I manage this situation? The mother was the one telling him how he would manage his family. The marriage did not last. Why? Because he has rushed his own life. He has disorganized his own his potentials, and he didn't make it. Now, so where are we rushing to? It's a true life story I've just told you now. Now, and a child who had to be withdrawn from university abroad. Some children are mature that you can send them abroad. They will come with good grace for you. There are some that are not mature. Your parents want to start because they want to see this status symbol. My child is studying in America. My child is studying in Canada. My child is studying in the UK. That's what they want to be saying. You understand? And therefore, they have said they be running around skelter. They want to fix them in this place, want to fix them in that place. They throw them there. When they get there, they will lose their balance. They will not concentrate. Many of them fail out. The parents don't even know that they have failed out from school. And the parents are still giving them money, sustaining them, whether they are falling out from school. I'm talking about personal experience, what I'm telling you. Things they are not stories. And they're not fictions. Now, even these parents, they buy admission for their children. How many? University of Lagos. They pay to get their way there. University, they pay their way to get admissions. The children did not pass damn well. Hey, God. No, they have paid their way. And whenever they got there, what happens? Through the system, they are not that lucky. I've told you, there's so many of them packing. Going some after the very first year. I can tell you that. Now, but when a child is self-discovering him or herself, it's always very good. A child will tell you, I cannot cope. Parents, please don't force. Say, please, I cannot cope. Please listen. Do not overstretch your child. When a child has discovered him or herself to say, oh, mommy, I don't think what I want to do is this. And parents continue to impress. You must be a doctor. You must be this. The child can, at the end of the day, can say, okay, I'm listening to you. Yeah, that's what you want me to be. Okay. And the child will give you what you want by failing. Now, finally, okay. So, well, how these students used to do, how they deal with this adjustment, that they will adopt dangerous coping techniques, very dangerous ones. Some will say they want to commit suicide. Even the one that came out today, an 8-year-old handsome boy said, I'm tired of life. Have you heard that one? 8-year-old child. I'm tired. And an immature child in the midst of mature counterparts, we look for ways to belong for survival. Can be by joining calls or doing this or that, just to survive. And of course, a child who is not mature will be over-reliant, over-dependent on parents to tell him or her what to do. Such a child will not be able to take decisions, even as adults. I have these questions for us. Why don't you look at your own situation without comparing yourself or your child with others? Why don't you think of plan B? Please, B was omitted. Plan B for your child's adjustment. If somehow the father and mother separate, if they separate, guess what? Like I've said, we can still have such. It will still be happening. But to always tag, to target, to catch a child. It's because from a broken home. We have children of broken homes that are doing very well. So why should, because your child is only with you, father is not there, you are now you are now living in your own don't know you to use what to use. Instead of you facing your child so that that tag does not remain on the body of the child, you are wallowing in your own pity. Now, why can't a parent learn the art of good parenting instead of being a bad role model? You know, this maturity, what it means, this maturity. I want to round off with this, experience. I said I always choose an experience, a life example. My last son, that was playful in primary school. In fact, all the support cards, Mr. Siki, intelligent but playful. That playful never removed from that report card. Well, to be playful, I won't thank God, playful, but at least he's coping with books, he's doing very well. Just when he was to enter JS1, he has a friend very close. They do all the common translation together and they always doing all these exams together. He went there one day. As he was jumping the fence of that house, they were jumping the railings. He fell. He broke his arm. He came back home quietly, went to read. He could not complain that he broke his arm. Meanwhile, the arm was swelling. But to know as a mother, you will get home, you still look at what. I didn't hear this boy. What has happened? Hey, what's going on? I saw that the hand was swollen. What happened? He fell. We didn't see. So that night, we had to take him to the doctor, and they had to put POP. And this was just about 2 weeks to his resumption at King's College for JS1. Hey. And I said to myself, oh, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I don't want to talk about maturity now. I'm going to teach you a lesson. Yeah, you're already primary 6. It's not a small, but it's 11 plus then. You're going to go to boarding school with this your one hand. And with this one hand, you will carry your bucket, you will wash the toilet, you will wash your uniforms, and you should retain your standard. You should not bring any report card that's less than A's. I mean, to me at home. Hey. Again, and when he got to school, when he went to go and drop him, the people said, so I asked for me, yes. The POP was there, yes. The POP was hung in the sling. I said, yes. Oh, he can't say that. Let him go and learn how he's going to do everything with the only single hand that he had at that time. And so it was allowed in. But you know what he did? Now he was able to survive it. Before he took off an eye, he made friend with the son of the housemaster, one very popular housemaster in King's College. They became friends. I mean, tell me now, we are now the friend of the son of, and they are the same class. Not the same class, one was a senior. He may become a friend of that one. No? And so the boy was one protecting him for this, protecting him for that. Anytime he got to school, where is Aki? Okay, it's Mr. Kodawaja. Where is in the hostel, learning at the same time, helping them to do some house, whatever, in his house, so without one hand. But he survived without any problem. After 1 year, we never went to go and pick him. He said, Mommy, don't bother come and pick me after during the holiday. I will always find somebody that will bring me home from my friend's parents. That's maturity. Some parents will say, hey, I have to pick my child. Oh, hey, he will be able to say, you know. So let us learn to develop mature children that will be able to adjust anywhere they find themselves. Do not let us be in a hurry to do things that's going to have counter reaction to what we want in the lives of these children. Let me leave us with this quote. In the heat of the moment, first, attend to how your child's behavior makes you feel. How the behavior, we are looking at your child, the way he's behaving. How the behavior, how will it make you feel? That's what you first of all think about. So you can then attend to how your child feels without the interference, without your own interference. How the child will feel without your own interference. I mean, why can't the child feel confident that with my mother or my father trying to manipulate anything, I can be okay? Or trying to turn things around, trying to impress on me, this is what I have to do. That I can do what is good. That is code number one. Code number two, your child's state of reactivity will often mirror your own state of reactivity. Even you are saying parental influence. Parental influence. A child should believe that what my mom is doing is right. What my father is doing is right. If you now do what is not right, and the child mirrors it, by the time you even make up your mind that, okay, this thing I want to change, would your child be able to change? What would have been the effect on that child at that time? So my distinguished women in Rotary, mothers, grandmothers, because don't say when you're a grandmother, you still have work to do. Because at times the children we are giving birth to, the way they even raise up their own children, at times you are amazed and you feel what's going on. But trust me, I don't keep quiet unless they don't want me in their house. So I want to thank you once again for the opportunity to come and say one or two things here to make us better women, better mothers, and better mentors and better role models to our children. Thank you very much.
Wow, 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 wow. That was something else. I'm so proud of you, ma. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, so
Amazing.
Moderator,
Amazing.
thank you.
Wow. Wow.
Rotary Temitope, over to you, please. Rotary Temitope.
What is this thing? No.
Yeah, over to you now. Our PDG has just finished talking to us. So can you please take over from there? I don't know. Do anybody have
Is
any?
she still there?
Rotary Sandra, please. I mean, this one, Jessica. Can you please take? Can you please take questions on behalf of Rotary Temitope?
Okay. Thank you so much. While we wait for Rotary and Temitope to come back on, we're just going to have some questions.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I have my own questions. Okay, so Rotary and Temitope, over to you first, then I'll speak. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let's first of all give the guest speaker a digital round of applause. She has done so much justice to today's topic, and has really showed her level of expertise, experience, and exposure. Thanks so much for that wonderful one. Just a little recap of what she has said. And while we do that, while we take the recap, let's start, putting together our thoughts, our question and answer in the chat box. As we also do that, I would like to recognize the presence of the DGE, that the district elect Rotarian Bukola Bakari. Please let's appreciate her for being here. What did you say, ma'am? All right, while we put in our thoughts and our questions that we want to ask verbally or in the chat box, we want to just appreciate the veteran once again. And a quick recap of what she said can be capped out with influence. And the I for us would say ignorance is not allowed in parenting. We need to know what our child needs. And very insightful thought when she asks about which part of your child's life are you most worried about? Is it when your child is 3 years in primary school, in secondary school, or university? And for the end, the needs of a child. By the time we are talking about what a child needs and we don't want a maladjustment, things as basic as school fees, feeding, love, attention has to be given. And again, in terms of health, we can say fairness to all, for teachers, for people around us. She shared a lot about legacy too. when we're doing certain things, our children are watching us. When we saw people in the society, when we bring down the teachers, people are watching us. We'll go back to a recap of what she put together that I capped as influence. But let's now open the virtual mic for those who would like to ask their question. And we have lots and lots of men that have also joined us today because we're talking about parents, not just women. So let's appreciate the man and the men in our presence. We had someone that mentioned that you had a question earlier. Can we now give you the virtual mic? You can please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Rotary and Temitope. Thank you so much. I don't even know where to start from, you know.
I can imagine.
While Kosheleri was, speaking, I had so much goosebumps because I think when it comes to education, parenting, and conversations around developmental stages for children, I am so particular, and that's why this hits home. So I want to share, and I want to also ask a question and suggest, or I'll be putting it if there's anything to be done about it. So I'm going to be speaking from a place of experience. So I remember some 4 years ago or 5 years ago, my child was supposed to be in year 5. And I didn't think that this child was, sound enough, and we're relocating to Lagos. It was so bad that my daughter came back home and said, "Mommy, my mates are in GSS1, right? But I'm meant to repeat." Now, see, we have a rule, we have a system. Matt, is it possible that we follow through the regulations that we have as a nation? Or what are we doing about the fact that parents are doing a lot of damage while some other parents are doing a lot of good? That affected my child so much that we had to talk about the importance of not pushing your children to a certain level where they need to go. I mean, Kosheleri was talking about stage by stage in development and understanding of for your children, or maybe educational level. But you see some parents, my child just has to be in GSS. My child, you see a 14-year-old, what are you doing in the university? Are you emotionally sound? Are you sure that you are not even physically sound? That's why we have a lot of.
Thank you very much. Let's have
How can you help?
guest speaker respond. Thank you.
Do that again.
I said thank you very much for your thoughts. Over to
Okay.
the guest speaker for a response.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much, Jessica.
Yes,
You know, thank God that you just followed your heart. That you did it because your child said that felt that the classmates were in GS1. The same thing with my son I told you about. But I just told him, man, you know what? You are not going anywhere. I didn't even show him his scores anyway for him to even see that he even passed well. So as if life continues normally. And truly the other ones went ahead of him. But we have taken the right decision by ensuring that the child was stable enough to go to GS1. And that's what is most important. You know, we have more problems in private schools. I mean, in government schools, you cannot go and ask for the promotion in government school. Everything must follow the directive. But in private schools, many people, we don't even look at where a child is coming from, all because we want to admit a child in school. We don't do the due diligence. But my child is in year 5. So you know what is happening. You have to go and pay the school fees. You have to go and bring the result of your last class. Say now go and do the test, assessment test, so that you can hope in that class. Do the due diligence. And the parents now refused and still insist that, oh, this is what I want. We always tell them, well, I'm sorry, we cannot accept a child in our school. We wish you the best of luck. And so that is, we put our faith as much as that. So thank you for the position you took on your child. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that. Like we said, we'd like to have more responses, more comments and questions, because this is a topic that affects us all. You might say, my child is fine. How about the child of other people around you? They are going to, one way or the other, affect your child because we live in the same world. Thanks so much for what you've said here today. And you said a lot about nurturing, really. And that also drives home to the fact that we should not wait for life-changing decisions for our children before we start grooming them on responsibilities on how to take responsible decision. So while we wait for other comments and questions, I just wanted to ask about the level of communication that one can have with one's children that would not seem as if you are giving them the authority to decide by themselves, especially when they're below 13. You know, you mentioned the fact that for your children, you didn't show them their results. Recently, children feel they have a say, even from 3-year-old. I am more scared of my 3-year-old daughter than my niece or nephew that are 13 years. She already has a mind of her own at 3 years. And sometimes I'm asking myself, am I doing well as a mother? She wants to know why, with what? Mommy, but why? Mommy, but why? How do we balance communication with children and also ensuring that we are in charge in terms of making decisions for them?
Thank you. The why and how questions that children ask, they're supposed to be answered. Gone are the days when we were brought up in a way that you dare not even ask your parents any question about anything.
Exactly.
Just go like that and do it. That was the kind of life we passed through. I can't even say whether it was good for us, whether it make us better children, then I would not say. But evolution has changed everything. We have doctors in the house. Evolution has so much changed the kind of children being born now, that they are born more intellectually developed than our own, our own, our own, our own age. Therefore, they want to know why. And that's why it's essential that you don't lie to them. You let them know the language that you know is just appropriate for them at that level. It's what to tell them. Oh, they have the mind of their own. Yes, but there must be a limit to it. You can still bring it down. I can tell you that. Even with children brought abroad, have caused to stay with different families abroad. And when we say that children are abroad, it's difficult for them to train them, and they don't beat them. Guess what? It's not true. And my own children beat their children, and they correct them and they beat them. And after doing that, they let them know the reason why I've done this, I've done that. After the small beating, not the abnormal one anyway. The normal, just a small beating. You draw them aside, draw them nearer, and explain to them, the reason why I beat you. Because this, and this. Those who do not do that at all for their children, those are the ones that dictate to their children. There must be some level of discipline to administer on your child, no matter what. If the question is too heavy, or you think the question is too heavy for a child to say, let the child know why the question is heavy. My granddaughter came home on holiday. My mother-in-law lost her sight. And I said, Grandma, are you blind? Are you blind? I first of all put my hand on her buttocks. What kind of question is that? My grandmother was also a teacher. He said, leave her. She asked the right question because she saw that I was not seeing. So there was nothing wrong with the question. And I realized that truly there was nothing wrong with the question. Would I now say, no, he's not blind? No. Yes, it was heavy to us, but then the child has the right question. So knowing how to break it down for them is essential. But don't let them take all the power. See, if nothing that you can say. And if this is the school I want to go, I don't want to pay the school fees. Oh, this is school that your mom can afford, When it gets to the time when you can go, I will do this. But for now, it's really listen. These children to listen. It's the manner of approach that matters.
Thank you very much for that insight. And I'm sure we've learned from that. And in addition to that, recently we had the International Women's Day celebration at the Rotary office in partnership with Deloitte. And it's had a section where it had mentoring of girls. And in my years of mentoring and career counseling, I had to take part in the mentoring of the girls. And some very dynamic insight came out where, while engaging the students, they felt being caged by their parents in terms of their career choice. And some of them were of the opinion that they love to draw, but their parents have not given them the wings to. So in terms of the fact that the world is becoming the global village and in the spirit of future of work, how much can we allow our children to explore, or should I say allow them to make their own mistakes? Because by the time they feel they want to do this, and we feel we want to consciously mentor them in the other way, there's a level of adjustment that happens, and sometimes it makes the children disconnect with us as parents.
Number one, I will ask you, you that wants to choose a career for your child, what is the reason behind your own choice? You must be able to
Yes,
convince the child that this is the reason behind my own choice.
exactly.
What made that your choice better than the choice of that your child? No, look at Davido's case. If you follow the history of Davido and how the tug of war he had with the father when he said he was going to study music, and he supposedly dropped out of school because the father refused to allow him to do music. When the father saw that this boy was deliberate about it, you understand, he left him at the end of the day because at the time he saw reason that, oh, nothing reason why this boy wanted to do. Because of him, he instituted the Department of Music in the university, which he funded so that the boy could do music. He read the music. At the end of the day, he still went back to the university to even read another course. So it's not all the time that we feel that thing that we want them to do is the best for them. You might think it's a mistake, but at the end of the day, it might not even be a mistake. That's why you have to guide them, because if you are too fussy, they will still face you back. You don't know whether you have seen parents, they are afraid of parents to say, Mommy, you spoiled my life. Daddy, you spoiled my life. Oh, yes, we have seen such cases. Me, I'm always very scared to let my child face to say, Mommy, I want to do this, but to force me to do this, I run away from it. So I will guide you, I will support you to deliver what I think you want. Not say you want to do that. Okay, that's what you want to do. Okay, go and do it. And you hands off. That's when you have not helped the child.
All right. Wow. Thank you so much. So the mic is open once again. If you have questions to ask, this is the time. Let's ask the questions. You can put the question in the chat box and you can just unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and ask your question. Ma, you were doing justice to this. I had a rare privilege of being a teacher in the classroom for about 12 years before I transited into the training room in public service. So I see a lot happening to the children. So while we wait for more responses and questions, I want you to speak more about empathy and the fact that a lot of children are they're emotionally down. Sometimes I'm engaging a child and I realize that the parents were busy fighting at home while the child has to come to school. Or the child I was engaging just asking randomly about his mom and he said, my mom died. When did she die? She said yesterday, and I was shocked. These children came to school with a whole bag of emotional instability. So why do you say, Mom?
Yeah, I was surprised to hear that. I'm just surprised
Yes,
to hear that.
and he had to come to school. Probably the family members felt instead of staying at home and him crying, he should be in the school. And I
I
was like,
guess so
how's the
too.
relationship with your dad? He said his dad does not talk. No, nobody is talking in the family. He's on his own. So how do we now, in terms of parenting and relating it to surrogacy of teachers, how do we also help the parents in this journey to ensure that there's no adjustment, although there's always war between parents and teachers. I've had war in my child's school. I had serious war until we had the battleground, a good level ground. A child of 3 years giving her 5 pages assignments, draw 5, draw 5, draw 5. Is there another thing aside draw 5? So how can teachers also help in this journey without a conflict of interest, ma'am?
Okay. At times the teachers too can be over, but probably they are trying to cover up their own laziness too, and they want us to put a child there. Just go and do this one, just go and do that one. You can have such situations. But this one you have just said about this emotional instability caused by problems in the home is always so numerous. I just spoke with you about the case that was brought to me today by the head of a nursery and primary school and the teacher, because they felt at that stage, they felt this is the time to come and talk about it. 8-year-old child. And there are 3 of them. 2 are in the college, 1 in that primary school. Unfortunately, both parents are separated, but the 3 children are with the mother. The mother is a lawyer. But guess what? He has some mental kind of issue. You understand now? So they are even in court already on divorce issue, but the mother says not going to sign any divorce paper. So these children are still left in the mercy of these children. What's even terrible that the child said, I am tired of life. And they said there's a word that he used, I'm frustrated. And the teacher said, he said, I know what I'm talking about. I am frustrated. Now, and I'm tired of life. In class, we just sit down and be looking. Why? In fact, after they had said everything, I said, to go and call this child. The child sat down and was asking what happened actually. There are some languages that we have been using. Why are you feeling this way? Please tell me what has happened. First, I asked him, first of all, what did you eat this morning? Hey, biscuit and coke. So is that what you eat every morning? And we said, well, almost like that. Okay, biscuit and coke. What next do you eat? He said she comes to school and she will eat pastries. That's what the pastries. Which pastries the one that they sell in the school? I mean, the food vendor selling in the school. Pastries. Who give him, and they are with the mother. Who gave the money for it? He said the father. The father has paid the woman in advance. Are you with me? Okay, now, when you get home now, what will you eat? He said, I don't know. But yesterday when you got to, what did you eat? Said that I had fried dinner with my brothers. Where? With my mama Chinwe. Funny enough, this woman said, my mother doesn't cook. It doesn't cook for us. It doesn't know how to cook. So we eat outside. Eh? The children will go and eat from one mama Chinwe outside every afternoon. And I said, okay, have you ever mentioned this? I said, I can't tell her. He's going to beat me. Why? Because she doesn't behave well. You listen, intelligent, but the body boy was speaking. She does not behave well. Oh, what do you mean by she doesn't behave well? But in fact, my grandmom still lives with us in her house. The way she talks with the grandma, I don't like it. I feel sad. The way she talks to my grandma, I don't like it. She does not behave well to her at all. An 8-year-old boy. So saying that one, I said, okay, now, should I call her to invite her? I said, please don't call her. She's so rude. She's so disrespectful. 8-year-old child in my office today. You can imagine that kind of, I don't even know what I can do what I can do, but if I think bringing that child out of that house, she can start living with me. That's the way the thing just occurred to me. This woman will sell all these books. He should be bringing them home every day. He said he will now sit him down from morning till night. Oh, yeah, after this one, go and do this one. After that one, go and do this one. The boy will walk from after 3 in the school. She sleeps in the night. One book after the other. So all the textbooks that are many left in school, that the others to pick, they do not bring them. The woman will collect everything. So when they are now in school, they are now to work. The boys I don't have books to use because she has collected all the books that are at home. Can you imagine? So that is the boys. That's kind of fun. So I can imagine at that age, the boy is frustrated. What do you think this boy will grow up? Please tell me. What do you think will happen to this boy? I'm so scared of him that I don't even know how to handle it. But the woman is not that. I mean, he has this. He's not stable. You know what I mean? It's not a stable woman.
Yeah.
So
Thank you so much.
she's not mentally stable. Can you understand? Sometimes she will come into the school and sit down from 8 o'clock to 3 p.m. She won't go until we stop her from doing so. So
All right.
these are kind of things that
Yes.
some children live with. Are you with me? So if this
Thanks so
happens,
much.
how do we handle them?
Yeah.
So I only pray that our children will not always be victim of this kind of circumstance.
All right. Thank you so much. So the mic is open once again. Let's unmute. Let's ask a question. And we have a comment in the chat box by Rotarian Lawrence. He said, good job on what you have done. Yeah, to prefer parents' role in guiding children on career paths at a secondary school, and you can tell the difference when a child is being pushed. Another important thing he mentioned is that Davido's case you mentioned was 1 in a million. His case was backed by grace and his father's background to support him. So would we say that sometimes poverty affects the way we raise our children? All right, let's have more questions.
Now, I read something here that Lawrence wrote that our children don't see the strength they have until they are pushed. They don't push them. Yeah, until they are pushed. You are just doing that they are pushed. It's because you have not used the proper approach to bring the best out of the child. The child doesn't have to be pushed. It's the approach that you use that will make the child to even come out and show the stuff he's made of. You understand? It's like a child who is good in science but wants to do marketing in university, but because our close friend is doing marketing, and you the parent don't know the reason. I heard the child is the friend. I don't know it's quite good. The friend is doing marketing. That's why he wanted to do marketing. But how do you know the child is good in science? Don't let us always believe that a child is good in science and therefore should not do what. My second daughter was absolutely fantastic in science. She read banking at University of Lagos. Forget about science. See, no, I'm not reading any medicine. I'm not reading. So that is it. It's not about a child is good in clinical and then the child interest. Cognitive, affective, psychomotor domain. Those are the three domains are important in the child's choice of subject. Don't let us look at one way of doing science. Yes, but we look at other skills to see where the child will perform better. So it's that word push, it's not usually good for a parent of an act to embark on when a child is making a choice.
All right, thank you so much. In addition to that, in terms of funding your child's desire, like the case of Davido you mentioned, how
Yeah.
can a parent balance this when they don't have enough funds to satisfy the desire of their children? And that was a comment by
Yeah, by
Rotary.
Lawrence. Yes. I know this one is one case. Of course, it's just a one-off case that because the father is a. I just ran as an example that the guy is now a guru in that profession. That's what I was trying to drive at. Not because the father established a Platinum University for him, but because that thing he loved is what he's now doing, and that is what is making his livelihood. That's what I'm trying to drive at.
All right, thank you so
Yes.
much. We also have a comment by Rotarian Adeshino Abiola, and he said, kudos PDG Nursing and the women in Rotary for this. When you get it right as a family, the government, religion, and society will be right. And I believe we all agree to that. We all agree to that. And Rotarian Chima Josephine also made a comment saying, yes, a good approach and explanation, you can win with them. And that was also addressing the issue of push that you mentioned earlier. Wow, wow, wow. What a wonderful combination of comments and reaction from both men and women. It shows that we are all passionate to ensure that we don't have a maladjustment in not just our children, but children around us. While we wait for more comments and questions, let's invite the DGE, Rotarian Bukola Bakare, to give us one or two insights and opinion about the topic of today. Over to you, Rotarian Bukola.
Picture.
Yes, I think she's. Let me see.
I think she has exited.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. We just watch out for her return. Let's open the mic once again. Let's have more questions from the audience. You can please unmute yourself and introduce yourself.
Yes, I want to say a very big thank you to our PDG, Ayaba Kusheleri, Motunde Losim. Thank you so much for your time. It's been so educative and impactful. In Yoruba parlance, they'll say it takes a community to raise a child. But these days, it doesn't work that way anymore. Because then when we're growing up, if you do something wrong and someone else sees you around, you'll be disciplined before you even get home. And you'll even be begging them not to tell your parents because it's going to be double. But it doesn't happen it doesn't happen like that anymore. I would say the beauty of the computer and what have you, and the disadvantage is enormous. Children are being given iPhones and stuff like that to hold on to, and that takes them away from so many things. and they don't want to learn, they just want to cheat and what have you. But as time goes on, we just pray that God in his infinite goodness will continue to be up with our children, and God help us to guide them aright, to do the right thing. There is no child that doesn't want to misbehave. It's just the grace of God and the parents to push them back to where they're supposed to be. Having said that, ma, I also want to call our attention to what you said earlier on about copying other parents. My friend's daughter is in UK. My friend's son is in Canada.
Canada.
Yes, this one is in the USA. I want my daughter to go to USA. What resources do you have? Are you going to go and start borrowing money to send your children to school, or what? That you cannot afford. The parents need to think about all these things. Years back, I remembered there is a school. I don't want to mention the name of the school, but if I describe the school, you know it. The school is under Antonio Oki.
Yeah.
It's Antonio Oki. I'm not going to name the school.
Yeah.
Every month they do parties. That time, years back, maybe like 20 years ago, that was when I knew this guy. What's his name? Tubaba. They're always going there to go and perform. And the parents, the mothers, they would dress up and go to party in schools. These days now, things are very, very different. Schools comes up with a lot of nonsensical things for children, which is not necessary, especially private schools. I pray that with the federal government, we ban all those things. There are some schools now you don't come and celebrate your children's birthday in the school because there is comparison. This child brought this one, that child brought this one. Look at what your child is bringing. They do graduation, they go to schools and they start spraying money as if money is going out of fashion. There are a lot of maladjustment in that society. All our prayers is just God to turn around the country called Nigeria for better. Things are really gone out of control. Based on what Rotary Abiola said, the society takes a lot. And it's, the country too is not helping matters. If you remember, there was a school that graduated maybe last year or so. The graduates for their, what they call it, prom. Yes, they drove expensive cars to the school. It was something else. It was an eyesore. Where did they get those cars? Those cars are they not from their parents? And even if they are rented, where did they get the money to rent such cars to bring to school? I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to you all for coming. And, that's the beauty of women in Rotary. When we go for all our Rotary events, we learn a lot about Rotary. The essence of women in Rotary is to come forward and, bring to us things that are really happening in our society, to help us to lift women, men, and talk to ourselves. We know about Rotary, maybe not all about Rotary, but there's Rotary and there is the society itself too. And like we used to say in Rotary, women in Rotary, we add value to humanity. This is one of our ways of adding value to humanity. So before our moderator, Rotary Temitope, will close this webinar, I want to quickly want the people on board to please help me to give her an emoji for, she's a very new Rotarian. That's why I always say movement in Rotary in District 9111 is a movement. It's a movement. So she's very new in Rotary and she's coming up. This is her first time and I don't think she did badly. Please, can we give her a thumbs up, please?
Thanks so much.
And I want to say thank you to our DG in absentia. Thank you very much, sir. Our Kosheleri, God bless you, ma.
Thank you very
Oh,
much, and
I
God
we
bless
know
you
that
too.
all the time, anytime we call upon you, you will always be there for us. Rotarian Adiola Owolabi, thank you very much, sir. Rotarian Samsung SI35DL, thank you, sir. Our own zonal coordinator, welcome, sir. Rotarian AGB Segbogu, thank you for being here. Rotarian Bola Adeomi, we appreciate you. Our own Rotarian Buluwatiwi, thank you so very much. Ebere, Rotarian Ebere Josephine Chima, thank you. Rotarian Ella, medical doctor, I guess, thank you very much. My own Rotarian Folashade Kazim Favor, thank you very much. Rotarian Henrietta Etuko, thank you. Rotarian Catherine, thank you very much. My darling brother, Rotarian Lawrence Adesoye, I want to say a very big thank you to you. Rotarian Maureen Okoli, thank you for being part of this webinar. God bless you. My own president, Rotarian Indidi Ted Ezike from Rotary Club of Lagos West, thank you. Rotarian Kechi, I appreciate you. Rotarian Olarewaju Kubrat Lawal, thank you very much, ma'am. Rotary District 911, Rotarian Princess Dr. Maureen, thank you for being part of this webinar. And our own beautiful Rotarian, Toyin Suraliu, thank you so very much. Rotarian Jessica, thank you. Rotarian Sandra, thank you for putting this thing together, because we have a committee that does this every month, and we bring you something to, to ginger the women and the family as a whole. I want to say very big thank you to you all, and I pray that God in his infinite goodness will give us the spirit to be able to train and teach our children very well. Having said that, I also want to remind you of our upcoming Women in Rotary Conference and Exhibition. It has never been like this before. We have over 500 registrants. We're looking forward to seeing everybody on the 8th of April by the special grace of God. Thank you very much. While I hand over to Rotarian Temitope to close this webinar. Thank you all. I love you all with the love of Christ. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. We also love you. We love your leadership. Wow. Thank you, everyone. Like he has said, thanks so much, PDG Omotunde Lawson. This has been a powerful reminder for us that we are our children's first teacher, and their environment matters a lot. And as we wrap up today, let's also remember that education is not just about the certificate, but the emotional stability that we give not just our child, but other children. And those were great insights and exposition that was given to us by our great speakers. We want to also appreciate the district governor in absentia again, I believe is back to his official assignment. We want to thank you so much, everyone, for spending your Friday evening with us. Like you have heard from the chairperson, it has been back-to-back of impact and will continue to do so. Please have a wonderful family-filled weekend, and everyone, meeting adjourned. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Rotarian Abiola, ẹ kú ọjọ́ mẹ́ta o. On mute now, Rotarian Abiola. Hey, doctor. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I greet Madam Chair.
Ẹ wá ẹ bá wa wówó tá a fẹ́ fi ra omi o. Ẹ bá wa wówó tá a fẹ́ fi ra omi o.
This is a good program. Kudos.
Actually, we do it every month. We do it every month on different topics and what have you. So I don't know, we have our conference coming up. So please help us to look for Tasha. Help us to look for Tasha money.
It's all right. It's all right.
Nothing is too small, though. Thank you very much. Rotarian Adiola Owolabi, thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Rotarian Maureen, thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. So I'll send account to her so that I lè fún wa ní change díẹ̀. Rotarian Adiola Owolabi.
Good evening. Thank you,
Good
ma.
evening. Thank you.
Yes,
I'm sure you enjoyed our webinar. We do this every
yeah,
month.
it was educating. Very
Yes,
nice.
we do this every month. We know we've learned a lot about Rotary. We're still learning Rotary every day, but everything that concerns us as a family, we bring it to the fore every month. And having said that, we are having conference, so we need your money, please. Whatever you can give to us, nothing is too small.
No problem, man. It is
All
well,
right.
no problem.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you so
You're welcome.
much. Thank you. So have a very pleasant weekend and stay blessed.
You too.
Henrietta Ituko, you're there. I hope I'll see you on the 8th of April, and Rotarian Ella too. Rotarian Maureen, looking forward to seeing you on the 8th of April too, by the special grace of God. Thank you so very much. Have a very, very restful weekend and a great week ahead. Thank you. Bye.